Hello there, welcome to this session on applying the Cambridgeshire Community Foundation for funding for community projects. My name's Sara and I'm the Grants Manager at CCF, and I'm going to go through some of our process and some top tips for writing an application. To start off with, Cambridgeshire Community Foundation is a proactive community and philanthropic leader dedicated to improving the quality of life for the people of Cambridgeshire. To advance our mission, we work with many partners in order to actively inspire philanthropy and increase permanent resources for the county of Cambridgeshire. We invest in important community programmes through grants and provide leadership and a forum for dialogue on critical community issues. At the time of recording this, we have around 50 different funds. Some are open every year and some are one-offs or short-term. The majority of our funds run to one or more of our quarterly deadlines, which are the 1st of February, 1st of May, 1st of August and 1st of November. Our process takes 4 months from deadline to the latest expected outcome, so keeping the same deadlines helped you plan your application schedule. A small number of our funds, such as Thalia, Street Aid or Street Stay Well, run to different deadlines. All deadlines can be checked on our website, where each fund has its own fund page. An example of what the fund pages look like can be seen here on the bottom right. These fund pages also contain the links to the applicable application form. All eligibility criteria and funds can be seen by going to the Apply for Funding drop-down on our website. When you are applying to us, you can apply directly to a fund using a fund-specific application form, e.g. Thalia, Tees, and there are several others. Apply for a fund using our general application form and include your fund preference on the application, or apply using our general application form and not specify a fund. The CCF staff will match it with the most appropriate fund if one is available, but it's always worth having an idea of the funds your project may be suitable for. And to note, our average grant size is around £4,500. By heading to our website and selecting Available Funding at the top, you can find our fund filter, which helps you see funds based on grant type, individual or organisation, grant amount, eligible area, supported causes such as children and families, housing and homelessness, health and well-being, and the deadline dates. On this slide, I'll go through some of the basics to help navigate our application process. First of all, ensure your group is ready to receive a grant from us. We only fund community-focused, not-for-profit organisations, which must be legally registered if their income is above £5,000. This includes registered charities, charitable incorporated organisations or CIOs, village halls, schools, community amateur sports clubs, and a full list can be seen on our website. Some funds might have exceptions to our normal criteria, but this will be clearly stated on individual fund pages. Whilst we can fund community interest companies or CICs and social enterprises, there are additional guidelines for these types of organisations on our website, and it's important to review these thoroughly. We can only fund organisations that have a management committee with at least 3 unconnected committee members or directors, plus at least 2 independent check signatories. We also have a list of required documentation that I will cover in detail on the next slide. Next is basic housekeeping. We strongly recommend that you read the application guidance on our website and follow the advertised application process. Some of our funds accept applications quarterly, biannually, annually, etc. So if specifying a particular fund, please apply for an open fund and use the correct form for your preferred fund. Next, submit application and all supporting documents by the deadline. Applications past the deadline cannot be accepted. And be available for an assessment call. We carry these out with applications from new groups or where we require additional information. They are informal and allow us to understand your work and project better, so we can speak confidently to donors in panel meetings. They are also an opportunity for you to ask questions. Next, we expect you to have checked that your project meets the criteria for the fund you're interested in or a fund we have open. This information can be seen on the individual fund pages. This largely includes geographical area, need or issue, e.g. homelessness or children and families, and grant size thresholds. All proposed projects should be charitable in nature and for the benefit of the community. This is what we ask for in terms of required documentation, which must be submitted via our online application form by the deadline. First of all, a governance document that is signed by your management committee and includes a dissolution clause outlining that any funds from assets will be shared with similar charitable causes and not distributed back to the members. We require your accounts for the most recent financial year or an income and expenditure document if yours is a new or small organisation. We require a paying in slip or bank statement from the last 3 months that must be in the name of your organisation. Our application form asks you to tick to confirm that your organisation has its own safeguarding and equality policies that comply with the latest legislation and must be reviewed on a yearly basis. We also ask you to explain your organisation's approach to safeguarding and equality. We will come back to you if this is not answered sufficiently. And finally, 3 quotes are required for any capital items within your application that cost over £500. Now we'll cover some key application tips for the main part of your application. Our application forms are completed online. However, you can find a Word version on our website to use for drafting your responses. Firstly, ensure you enter the correct email address so we are able to contact you about your application. Throughout your application, please use short sentences and avoid acronyms and jargon. There is no need to use formal or creative language. Imagine that you are describing your work to someone who has never met you or seen what you do. Your project description should describe what the activity will be, when and where your project will take place, how you will go about delivering it, who the beneficiaries are, what the time frame is, and you should also identify any partner organisations you'll be working with. For example, rather than saying we will run cookery nutrition sessions for children, say we will run weekly cookery sessions for 8 to 16-year-olds over a 6-month period. Each session will be 2 hours long and will be attended by 15 children at. We will work with, name local partners, who will attend each session to give advice on nutrition, energy efficiency and healthy living. The word count limits in our application form are there as a guidance, but do not feel like you must fill them. Be succinct, but make sure you have given us all the information required and aim for us not to have any further questions to ask you. If you're applying to a specific fund, focus on the fund priorities. For example, imagine your group runs a dance project for local people. If you are applying to a funder that prioritises projects which help keep people fit and healthy, focus on the fact that dance is good exercise. If you're applying to a funder that prioritises projects which promote arts and music activities, Focus on the art and music element of the dancing. Don't get carried away and commit yourself to a project you won't be able to run, even if it sounds better in the application. It's better to be realistic about what you can deliver. Most of the funds we manage seek to address inequality and support those who face systemic barriers. Describe why you are running this project for the beneficiaries intended. Explain how the people or community accessing your services are under-resourced. Tell us about the systemic barriers they face. If you can include local statistics or other findings here, even better. Explain exactly how your project will address the needs described above and what opportunities it will create for people. Think about how you will measure and report on the positive changes you have made for your beneficiaries and the wider community. Ensure that any risks have been identified and that you have a proposed plan for addressing them. All projects have risks. Please do not say in your application form that your project has no risks, as we are very likely to question you on this. Let us know the total cost of your project, how much you have raised so far, and how much you are applying for. Have your budget reflect the aspects of your work for which you are requesting a grant. Do not include any non-specific items in your budget, such as miscellaneous. Please do make sure and double check that it all adds up, and get quotes for everything you will need to pay for so that it is an accurate costing. We're aware that AI may be a good time saver for charities, and we support the use of these technologies if used well. However, we also recognise that AI-generated applications might not always give charities the best shot at success. We recommend only using AI for drafting and spell checking, but make sure to add your personal touch. Your unique story and approach is what makes your charity stand out. If using AI, please also consider data and privacy, and also ensure fact-checking, as AI is often inaccurate. Go over some key advice when applying to Cambridgeshire Community Foundation. Please read all guidance carefully. More than one application to our general round is not recommended. Apply for a suitable amount. Applying for significantly higher than £4,500 reduces the likelihood of funding, unless it's for a fund that accepts larger applications, and these funding thresholds can be found on the fund pages on our website. A reminder that all documents are due at the time of application and by the deadline, and we also recommend to avoid leaving submissions to the last minute. We wanted to include some information on declines and the most common reasons for them. By far the most common reason for a decline is that funds are oversubscribed. At the time of recording, we can fund around 50% of the applications that we receive to some level. But a reminder that not to be disheartened, and if you do receive a decline, please do try again. The best place to find out about any funding opportunities from Cambridgeshire Community Foundation is by signing up to our grants newsletter. You can do this by scrolling to the bottom of our homepage, where you can enter your name and email address. And this is where we will share information about upcoming deadlines, new funds, and existing funds as well. Thanks for joining us. That wraps up our overview of how to apply to Cambridgeshire Community Foundation. If you have any further questions at all, the grants team are here to help, and please don't hesitate to contact us via the information here. Thanks very much for listening.